What's going on, guys? In this video we're going to be incorporating what we've learned in the past few videos that I've done, which was components, binding methods, and state, and we're going to be doing that in this video. So let's get right into that. So where we left off last time was with this right here, the action. We can't add anything. It just tells us, alerts us what it is. We can't remove anything, and if we click on what should I do, it just gives us HandlePick because we canceled console logged or alerted it HandlePick. That's it. So we're going to be focusing on the action component first of all. Now, action is this component down here, which is basically what should I do. So this is going to be, it's going to handle, like, once you click it, it's going to tell us what we should do out of the options that we have, and we're going to be focusing on that first. Now, so what I want to do is actually make this button disabled if there's no items or no options in the array, or if there is options in the array, I want to actually enable it, right? But before we do any of this, we're going to actually convert this into a state, because this, we're going to be changing it throughout different components. First of all, action needs to know about it. Options obviously needs to know about it. And add options needs to know about it, right? And we've been doing it by an array, which is not the proper way if you're doing React. If you're going to do an array, just do regular JavaScript. There's no point. But we're going to be setting this as a state, okay? So up above, we need to actually, you already know how to do this. You build a constructor, make the super, and then this dot state, and you put all your data inside that state, right? So constructor, we're gonna call in props. In here, super, oops, nope. And we're gonna pass in props, and then this dot state is going to equal an object with, we're going to pass this in here. Copy, paste that, get rid of the semicolon, and get rid of this. All right, we have that. Now we are going to have to change a little bit of things for now. So, like an example, the options, it used to be an array, but now it's not. So we can't just pass in options willy-nilly like this. We actually have to call this dot state dot options, right? And this will pass it down. And if I got an error, obviously. You know why I got an error? I got an error because in here I'm setting this to equal. It's supposed to be a semicolon. Now if you save it, you should see it. Yes, sir. And we still have our array showing up. Awesome. Now the next step is doing what I said about actually making this disabled or enabled. So for that, we don't have to pass in options. This right here, the whole array, you know, the way you would actually test it, there's multiple ways of testing it, but the way I'm gonna test it is I actually just need a boolean, true or false, to see if there is something in arrays or not. So what I'm going to pass in is a prop called has options, and we're gonna set that equal to, oops, this dot state dot options dot length, and we're gonna say if it's greater than 0. If it's where am I at? What did I do? Greater than, let me get the numlock, greater than 0. So this is going to evaluate. If it's greater than 0, then send in true. If it's less than 0, send in false. You know how that works, right? Now going down to our action class, which is right here. This is where we're gonna have to pass in our props, correct? Right? We gotta have a prop. So this right here, we're gonna have to, this button, this is where we're gonna enable it, disable it, depending on if it's true or false. So right here, we're gonna add another attribute, and we're gonna call it disabled. And this is not a React attribute. This is actually just plain old HTML. And we're gonna set this equal to, well, you already know, right? This dot props, because we're passing down a prop, and that's what we need. Dot has options. And to make this easier for you guys, I'm gonna just indent this like this, so that way you know what's going on. We're gonna put this right here, and there we go. So that way you know what's going on in here. So if you save this, right now it's actually disabled, which I do not know why it's disabled. Never mind, I do. This dot props is going to be true because we do have some stuff in here. So we just want to flip this to make it not. And now that we do, since we do have some stuff, it's going to be false because this is operator. Now we have it enabled, right? But if we actually delete all of these options right here, control save, we should see it disabled, which is correct. Awesome. Now guys, this stuff is actually, we've done this already in the past videos, so if you haven't seen them, look at the past videos that I've done. I will have it in the little icon on the upper right. Yeah, I'm gonna have those videos right there, so that way you could, if you haven't watched them, watch them, because this will make so much more sense if you already watched those. This is not new. I'm just adding what we've done in the past videos to this. Now that we have actions all set up, or somewhat, at least it works, we're going to focus on options. Now, previously, we've been using an array, obviously just JavaScript and array like this, and it's easier to manipulate that way because all you're doing is just using JavaScript. So push, pop, that kind of stuff. But now we're using states. So with this, I'm actually going to create a method because down in options, we used a method called HandleRemoveAll. Now, in all this, I don't want to create methods inside of our classes. I just want to create methods inside of our main component, which is the buckets list app, right? So we're going to actually create a method down here by indenting that and calling it handle delete options. And inside this method, we're literally going to return an empty array or empty options array. So this, remember this, I'm pretty sure you already do, this dot set state, and it's going to be an arrow function. And we're going to return an object with options and empty an array inside of it. So there's that. And instead, and right here in options, we're actually going to be passing down this method we just created. So I'm just copy this. And like I did for down there, since it's going to expand, so I'm just do it like this. Paste options, handle delete options is going to equal this dot handle delete options, and don't forget the curly braces. And let's not forget up here to actually, where is it, right here, to actually bind this method to this constructor or this bucket list. So this dot handle delete options is going to equal this dot handle delete options dot bind, and then passing in this keyword. So I've already been what this does, and like I said, I will have videos on the little icon right there, so that way you go back and see what this is. Down here now, we're gonna have to do some stuff in the options class or options component. Now we had this method previously, and we're gonna just get rid of it since we already created a method up here that did that. So with that, we're gonna get rid of this constructor because obviously we don't need a constructor for this no more, since we're just using it to bind the handle remove all. So let me just get rid of these two things like that. And here it's not going to be this dot handle remove. Now remember, this dot handle remove, the reason why we had it this way is because this is just extended to the options class, right? And this it knows what it has right here. Obviously handle remove all. So this dot handle remove, it knows that, oh, we're in the options. Okay, this options handle remove all is this. Now we don't have this anymore. We're actually passing down a prop, so you already know what to do with that. It's this dot. Let me get rid of this. Props dot handle delete options. Control save. Now if you actually do remove all, boom, there it is. It removes every single little thing. Let me see. Now we're going to do HandlePick in the action class or action component. We're going to do HandlePick. We're going to take care of this. So we're up here. Now you should be ahead of me on this point. Like I'm already told you what we're doing, and I hope that you're following along and actually trying to do it yourself. Like I said, we're going to be actually just doing this HandlePick, and we're just going to alert HandlePick once they click on it. But we're just moving this up here, and that's all we are doing, right? So we're gonna HandlePick right here. Actually, I'm just copying it because, like I said, I'm too lazy to do these things. I don't know why. I just and up here we're gonna have to do this dot HandlePick is going to equal this dot HandlePick dot bind this. Control save, and let me see. So right here we're gonna add an attribute down here. So we're gonna just, oops, not that, just like so. And we're gonna pass in a prop called HandlePick, which is going to equal this dot HandlePick, right? Going back down here, we could actually get rid of this, and then instead of this dot HandlePick, this dot props dot HandlePick. Now control save that. Okay. Now we should be able to right here. What should I do? It should still say HandlePick. Okay. Just to make sure, I'm just control save. What should I do? Okay, we still get it. Okay. Now that we have that set up, we're actually going to make this HandlePick useful and make it actually pick a random option. So right above it. Now this is going to be pure JavaScript. I'm just a num is going to equal math.floor. Now, like I said, this is pure JavaScript. This is not React, so I'm not going to go over what I'm doing right here, right? Although maybe, no, that's fine. You guys should know this. State dot options dot length. It's not a comma, it's a dot length. Okay, right here, const option Sean is going to equal this dot state dot options random. I'm gonna grab this and just copy it and paste it right there. Control save this, and 1 0 2. Okay, why am I? Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, I get it. It's not random. Is option. So what should I do? 2. Okay, 3. Awesome. 1 1. Okay, see, it's working. It's working. Awesome. Now we're going to focus on add option, where we're gonna start adding options to this. So we're gonna create a method up here. We're gonna call it handle add option. We're gonna actually pass in a parameter, an argument. Okay, and we're gonna console.log the option for now, option, and then we're gonna pass it. Oh, don't forget, we gotta do this dot handle, what is it called? Handle add option equals this dot handle add option dot bind this, just like that. All right, boop, give me this, copy. Down here, we're going to say handle option. Oh, just do it like this, I guess. This dot handle option. Okay, now down below, where's our handle option? Our add option right here, our add option. As you can see, we already have a handle option down here. And you might be wondering why we have two of them, one in here and one up there. It's because the one in here, we still need to do a lot of things, which is like get the value and then actually display it if it is a value or not. And I don't want to write all that stuff up here. Up here is basically you're trying to think of it as the bigger picture, just getting stuff and spitting back out stuff. That's it. Down here, this is where all that, I guess, logic, you could say, if it needs logic, this is where you would actually put it in. As you can see, watch, in options, where's our options? Right here, we added this handle delete option. We're just spitting something right back out. That is it. And in has option or HandlePick, we're just spitting something back out. That is it. That's it. But over here, we need to like configure how to actually grab the thing, grab the string that user's putting in. It's just logic. I don't know how to explain myself very well. It's just logic that you need to put in here. So in here, we're still gonna call this dot handle option, but we do need to add right here if option. We're gonna do this dot props dot handle delete. No, not handle delete, handle add option. And we're going to pass in the option as an argument. And then since we have this, we do need to set up our constructor. So up here, constructor, props, and then super props. And then right here, this dot handle add option equals this dot handle option dot bind this. All right, now let's go back up and control save this, and let's see if we're actually grabbing it or not. I'm gonna control or F12, put this in down view, get rid of this console. So if we actually see some stuff, we should still see it populating ASD. Yes, sir. There you go. All right. Instead of counting logging, though, we're going to actually push it up or manipulate the options state. So let's get rid of this. And then, okay, first of all, we're going to check two things. We're going to check if it's an empty string that they're returning or if that option is already inside the options array, okay? We're going to check for that stuff. So if there's no option, what we want to do is return enter an actual string. Okay. Else if and then this is where we're gonna check if that word exists in the array, and for that I'm gonna use index of this dot state dot options dot index of, and then we're gonna do pass in the option is greater than -1. So if it's greater than -1, that means that there's already a word or string or phrase inside of options array that matches it. So we're not going to do that. We're going to return this option is in array. Is in, does that even make sense? Is in the array. Okay. Okay. Now that we have those two figured out, if none of those works, then we're gonna just default to this. We're gonna default to actually setting it up in the options array. So this dot set state, right? And for this one, we're actually going to need the previous state of our options array, because we're gonna want to merge these two together or push on, right? There's no such thing as well, there is pushing, but you don't want to do that. We don't want to manipulate the values of the first array and the second array. That's kind of bad practice. You just want to just grab the first array, grab the second array, and then merge those two and create a third array without manipulating the data of the previous arrays. So we're going to do prev state, prev state, just like that. Nope. Like that. And then we're going to do return. Now you can do it so many ways. You could have done prev state dot option. Remember, prev state would be the previous state of the array, which is this. You could have done prev state dot options dot push, but that would manipulate the first array, and it would. You don't want to do that. We don't want to be manipulating any data. So what I'm going to use is concat. All right. And so this return. Sorry, I can't type and talk at the same time. No. So options, we're going to return an object called option with prev state dot options dot concat with option on there, and this will grab. This is going to grab the first array. We're going to concat merge the second array, which is the option that we're passing in right here, and we're going to merge it, and it's going to spit out a third array without manipulating the first or the option variables or data. And that's what we want, and that's what we're going to get. You control save this. Let's try it out. There we go. And let's try to actually adding an option. Nope. See, since it's already in there, let's try another one. If we do an empty string, it won't let us. Okay. You might be wondering, okay, so where does this go? Well, this actually, we're going to return. Remember, handle add option is all the way down here. We're using it down here. So we're going to actually do something with those error messages and display it on the screen. So down here, we're going to actually create a state. And the reason we're going to create a state is because up here, the reason why we have a state up here is because this is global. Mostly everybody needs to use this, right? We have action, options, and add option. No, actually just action and options. Add option doesn't, well, it does need it for this, but anyways, you see how 3 components, or at least 2 components, need to know about this options array. Well, down here, what we're going to be tracking here is actually the state of the error, and only the add option needs to know about the error, because this is where we're going to display the error. No other component needs to know about this error. It doesn't really matter for them. Only add option, and this is why we're going to create the state or a state. So this dot state is going to equal error. And by default, we're going to set it to undefined. All right. And we're going to actually get rid of some of this stuff. So this we're going to keep, but this if option, we're already checking about the option up above. So we're going to just leave this be. And we're going to just paste this down right there. And we're going to assign this variable const error is going to equal this dot option. Now remember, this dot options right here. Remember, we're returning some stuff, right? We're returning this, or we're returning an object back. Correct? We're returning an error or some data back. Now, where is it at? Right here. Right here. So this error is going to have that, okay? So now what we need to do is set this dot set state. Oops. And we're gonna return just the error. right? Or error like this. You already seen me done this before. We're gonna just set error up here to the actual error we get up there, or whatever it needs to be. So we're gonna actually get rid of that and just leave it like that. Control save. Now for down here, we're gonna actually use that, and we're gonna use our JavaScript expression. This dot state, and we're gonna use the logical AND operator to do this. Dot error. So we're gonna figure out if it's truthy or falsy. You know, undefined is falsy. So and if this is true, or if it has an error, then we're going to set a p paragraph. We're gonna set it to this dot state dot error, just like so. Control save this. Now let's go over here and try to add ASD, and we try to add ASD one more time. This option is in the array already, or this option is in the array, right? But let me actually set our options to a default, just a default array, nothing. Control save that. Okay, if I try to add an option, we should get enter an actual string. Awesome. If I have, I'm actually test add option, we're going to get this, right? If I add option again, this option is in the array, and if I add 1, 2, 3 or 1, we get it right there. So this is actually working, guys. So that's going to be it for this video. In the next video, we're going to go over a new way of doing components, which they're called stateless functional components. You might want to look into that before you look at the other video. Just, you know, probably you could do it better. You'll understand it more than I have no idea what I'm saying right now, but it will do you good if you actually try to pick it up on your own. So with that said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it's been a while. I'm gonna try to upload frequently again, but thank you guys so much for that, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.